Welcome to SEO FAQs, where you get answers from your favorite SEO experts. This episode is sponsored by onelittleweb.com. Make sure to check out their website link below and learn more about their digital PR services. Today's question is, what is on-page SEO for e-commerce websites, and do product titles affect SEO?
On-page is still important. You'll go to some brands and then you look at the product page, especially good product pages where they've really gone in, invested into putting in a lot of content in that and media. So just making sure it's your hierarchy with your headings, and making sure obviously keyword is variant on the page. Your product pages are targeting long tails. So again, look what's ranking, and then just making sure you're optimizing them. So if it's, let's give an example. So size 10 men's blue and white Jordans, if that's the product page, and then you look at variations of keyword and obviously just talk about the product, making sure it's unique. So take your product page, search a block of text in Google. If you find that other websites have got that same text, obviously you've got duplicated product then. So trying to invest in helping your customers, making sure product pages are unique. The step you can go ahead with product pages with on page is UX and HTML blocks. If you look at Amazon and what they've done on the product page, especially when you're on mobile, you can, on mobile, you know, they'll have the sticky navigation, they'll have reviews in that, so you can jump up and down the page. They'll have HTML blocks, sliders for like related products. I think the images are in a carousel, HTML class. So look at all these different elements on the page, and that's how you will build good on page. So content, HTML, nice and clean, making sure reviews are not, you get some apps where reviews are injected with JavaScript. So obviously Google's better with JavaScript, but just making sure the content actually readable. Yeah, that's a few ways to look at it. It's on page is still big. You know, I think people might ignore on page just because it's an e-commerce site and they think, well, it's not a 3,000 word article, but look at your product pages, making sure that they are crawlable, and making sure there's good, you know, blocks within them, the hierarchy and headings, you know, H1, H2, H2, H3, H2. Just keep it simple, put your text in that, and making sure that you have user experience now falls in line with that.
Any tips for e-commerce category pages?
E-commerce category pages, yeah. So I've tested this on a few, and so with your titles, making sure the title rich is the anchor, making sure that it's not a button within the content. So button being, you know, the only anchor, and then you don't have any keyword linking to that product. So with the title, some, you know, brands still have it now, and I've tested it. It'll be a paragraph anchor. So you'll just have your H1 at the top of the category pages. And then some brands do work, and it works. You know, most of it that I work with is you'll have your H2, and that'll be your title across the thumbnail, underneath the thumbnail. And you don't need to, obviously a lot of brands, they will shove a lot of content at the bottom of the page to try and help generate more keywords. But I don't think you need to, unless it's helping the user. And you don't need to drive a lot of content. Another example I give is almost like a hybrid category page. So a perfect example of this is if you search sofas in the UK, you'll see, I always give this example where you see IKEA. It's like a primary pillar category page where it links to subcategory pages. And that's an awesome example of like a hybrid hub page. So yeah, category pages is, and then obviously linking, so you have a bit of content at the top saying what the page is about, and then you have your sub navigation links. You know, you might have your side nav with all your different tags and your filters, and then you have your sub links, which will be like, if it's trainers, you'll have, you know, men's trainers, women's trainers, children's trainers, and then you can test that with A/B test it for the design of that to see how users engage with it, because you're building out your, almost like clustering your collection pages and your category pages. So if you have 5 category pages in the navigation, and then each one of them links out to another 5 categories in the subnav. You've got 25, 30 links then, all closer to the root domain as opposed to having orphan categories, etc.
Thanks, Lewis, for joining us today. And for all those listening, don't forget to follow me and Lewis if you're not already to get more SEO FAQs videos.